Welcome back to the Two Car Garage. I'm Luke, and today I'm going to see if I can get this truck running and out of the woods after it's been sitting here for 14 years. Alright, so this is a 1992 Chevy Silverado. My dad used to drive this truck about 20 years ago, and then he sold it to someone in the family, and a couple years later he got the truck back and he just parked it here in the woods, and it's been sitting since for about 14 years. It hasn't run, so it's just been sitting here, and today I'm going to see if I can get it to run, and even better, try and get it to drive out of here, because shortly we're going to have to come back with a trailer and pick this up because we have to get our vehicles off this property. So that's my goal for today, and let's see what we can do. I don't know much about this truck, but one thing I do know is that my dad put a carburetor on it back when he was driving it, because the fuel injection on these older 350s wasn't the best. So I'm going to be dealing with the carburetor today, so that should make it easier, but we'll see. About 8 years ago, we did try and pull this truck out of here with another truck and pull it into the barn, but the rear brakes were locked up, so we weren't able to get it anywhere. It was just sliding and digging itself into a hole, so we just left it here, and it's just been sitting and out in the elements. So hopefully we don't have any other major problems, but I'm just a little worried about the rear brake drums. All right, let's take a look and see what we have under the hood. All right. Oh, well, doesn't look too bad. All right, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a new battery in it, and then we'll go from there. All right. Oh, it's making noise. All right. Well, that's good. It says the dash is on. All right, well, that's good news. Let's head back out and check the oil. All right. All right, so checking the oil here, looks like it's at the add mark, which will be good for today. All right, so the truck has power, so on to the next step. You know what, I should probably clear all this crap off of here. All this. What a mess. Wow, there is a lot of stuff in here. Hopefully the mice didn't get in here and chew up anything important, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm really hoping that with all this stuff in here, it doesn't lead to any problems. And hopefully Alright, so I cleaned up all of the stuff that was in there that could be a fire hazard. Took a while, but I don't want to risk it. So now I'm gonna see what happens if I just crank on it. So, I mean, I'm just gonna see if I can get it to run. You know, I'm just curious to see what happens if I crank on it. So I just have a little bit of fuel. I'm gonna fill up the fuel bowl on the carburetor here. So just Just gonna go ahead. If I can get up there, put a little bit of fuel. Fill up the bowl a little bit. All right, let me just crank on it and see what happens. All right. Well, here we go. Oh, it fired. Okay, well, I think now I'm going to hook up my electric fuel pump and see if that helps. I'm going to go ahead and pull the fuel line off. And then I can put my, I'll put a new one on here and just run it through my electric pump into a gas can. Oh yeah, this is dry. There was no fuel in here. So alright, so I got this air box out of the way that was sitting right here, and I think this will be a good spot for the gas can. It should rest in here pretty easily, and then I can just run the hose. Yeah, it's about the perfect spot. Oh, up here, go open, and then right. Hold here, consider. Okay. Hold that. Alright, now this isn't going to be pretty, but as long as I make it safe, which, I mean, I think I am, hopefully. So, I got this fuel pump hooked up. So now I'm going to take these and hook them up to the battery. And, alright. This one's my positive. I'm just going to touch this and see if the pump kicks in. All right. Wonder if we got fuel in here. There we go. All right, I saw some fuel spray in the carburetor, so I think I'm just gonna leave the fuel pump disconnected for a moment. All right, I'm gonna go crank on it now and we'll see if it starts now that there's fuel in the carburetor. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, it's running. That was easy, surprisingly. All right, I just heard something up front. Don't know what that was, but I think it was just a tree or something. Well, I'm pretty surprised. I mean, it pretty much started right away. I mean, it wasn't running very good, but it was running. So let's hook up the fuel pump now and see if we can keep it running. So I'm just gonna hook the fuel pump back up and I'm gonna go run up and crank it. All right, sounds like the fan is blowing some stuff. It does have oil pressure, which is good. Yeah, there's some stuff blowing out of the fan. But everything seems to be looking okay. All right, let's check in here again. All right, it is running pretty rough, but yeah, it's got oil pressure. Looks like it's charging. All right. Let's see what happens if we put it in gear. That's what I was afraid of. It's not, I mean, I didn't rev it up that high, but it is stuck. Alright. I think I'll shut it off right there. Gotta go. Disconnect the fuel pump here. I mean, hey, that was a success. I got it to run. It was idling, not super smooth, but I mean, it was idling. And yeah, so now I'm just gonna see if maybe I can get it to break the rear brake drums loose and maybe pull it out of these woods. So we'll see. Alright, so I went ahead and got everything tidied up. I cleaned up all of the stuff on the outside of the car, up on the windshield here. That way I don't have to worry about anything falling in, because I'm going to close the hood. And what I'm going to try and do now is start it up and try and break those rear brakes free. So my plan is to just rock it back and forth, and hopefully I can break them free. And I do have one thing I'm worried about, and that is that one wheel might start spinning. And if that happens, what we're on right now is just sand, and it's just going to dig itself and bury itself in the sand more than it already is. So that's what I'm going to have to watch out for. But I'm going to get started. Let's see. All right. Let's try drive here. Well, nothing in drive. Yeah, it starts to make some sort of knocking when I rev it up. I can't tell what's knocking. Alright, I'll shut it off for now. See what I can do. Well, it turns out one of the rear brake lines must be broken. The brake pedal wasn't feeling super firm, so just out of curiosity, I checked in the brake fluid reservoir, and the rear reservoir was completely dry. So yeah, and then I also tried to get in and move the adjusters, and they're completely rusted up, which makes sense because the shoes are rusted. So yeah, I guess that's all I'm gonna be able to do today. I got it running, but I'm not gonna be able to pull it right on the trailer like I was hoping when I bring the trailer sometime next week. So I guess we'll have to figure out a different plan. So when I come back with my dad next week, we'll figure something out and get it on the trailer. So I'll see you then.